Ladies and gentlemen, the show we've all been waiting for, Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present REP Paranormal and Friends with your hosts, Kim Purvis and Allison Robinson. Live every Thursday night on Spreaker, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Be sure to check out their Facebook page, REP Paranormal Busters.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, welcome everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everyone's good. We got a special guest tonight. We have Chris Nielson from Paranomad tonight, so welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks.
All right, well let's get started here. I want you to kind of introduce yourself and kind of tell us how you got started in the paranormal.
Yeah, so my name's Chris Nielson. I've been kind of involved in paranormal some way for about the last 10 years ago now. So it all kind of started when I was about 8. I had my first encounter at my grandparents' house. Saw a little boy on the stairs. And from there, it's kind of one of those things that turned into a lifelong kind of obsession. After I turned about 16, I started actually really delving into actual paranormal research, looking at haunted locations. I remember I ended up getting a hold of this stack from a library sale, a bunch of consoles or books, that sort of thing, and just getting really into it. And then I ended up graduating high school. And 2011, I kind of co-found my first paranormal group with my dad, All Out Paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
We did our thing for quite a few years, and then recently the Paranomadic thing's been kind of a development, because I basically I kind of gave up what a lot of people call a normal life. I dropped my apartment in Cedar Rapids. I quit my job, ended up moving up to a campground in northeast Iowa, and now I just kind of travel close to full time.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I love to travel.
Oh yeah, I know, me too. It'd be nice. Excuse me. I have a tickle in my throat. Hang on. Excuse me.
Well, while she's trying to cough, I want to know a little bit more about the spook cave that you're doing. Let's get with that first.
Yeah, definitely. I'll jump right into a shameless plug.
We'll plug you.
Yeah, so for the first time ever, Spook Cave Campground, which is the first campground I went to, and it's just kind of what I've been coming back to here in Iowa every year. For the first time ever, we'll be having its first ever ghost tours, hosted by yours truly. So we'll be doing 4 dates between actually a week from today and the end of October. So it'll be September 26th, October 1st, October 12th, October 26th. October 12th is booked solid. We got one more opening still for the 26th of October. And then our 26th of September, the one a week from today, is still got a few open spots. And then October 1st is still actually sitting pretty wide open. So if anybody ends up getting tickets for that, it's probably going to be a little bit more of a kind of private ordeal, which would be kind of cool. But
oh, cool.
And the property itself is, it's just such a cool kind of funky location, being as far up northeast Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Being as close like Effigy Mountain to Pikes Peak, there's a lot of that native energy to it. A lot of the more recent type of haunts, though, are actually based around a town that used to exist in the area of Beulah, Iowa. So back in, so it was originally developed, so railroads big up in this area, and they had put in a switch pretty centrally located where I'm at right now. And eventually that switch kind of had a depot, built a town around it. And then 1896 came around, and there was just this massive flash flood that happened in the area. About a 20-foot wall of water came in, leveled everything. About 20 people died.
Oh, wow.
And they rebuilt a couple times after the floods like that, but it was never, quite the same. It ended up just kind of dwindling off into nothingness. And it's about where our lake is now.
Oh.
So I think that's where a lot of the more recent kind of stuff comes from. So the event will be down. I have actually able to get pretty close to where Beulah actually was on property, so we'll be doing a bit of investigating there.
Okay.
From there, we'll head to another location, which is honestly, it's just kind of a creepy basement on site. So nobody's really had much experience in the basement, mostly because nobody really sticks around too much.
Uh-huh.
Like, I've been doing this for about 10 years now, been countless locations, and it's still one of the types of places that just, like, kind of weirds me out to my core, which is a pretty rare phenomenon anymore.
Uh-huh.
So you kind of funky basement, the property outside of it. A few people, including myself, have seen this tall white figure kind of roaming the ground in front of it, which is, obviously kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah,
and,
definitely.
So, yeah, and then from there, we'll actually go into Spook Cave itself, and that's always been kind of a local myth legend type thing. So it has to do with, like, the Beulah area, because prior to the cave being opened, it was just kind of like a 6-inch hole at the base of the bluff. And the spook part comes from, they called it Spook Hole because they heard spooky sounds coming out of it, which, later was discovered was just cave water. But it doesn't kind of take the, kind of weird vibe out of it. And I've done a couple small things in there. There are a couple people kind of hanging out in there. And it's just a very, sometimes you go to investigation, sometimes it's more for, like, the just kind of uniqueness of the location, the investigation itself, and to go into a cave via boat, you've got claustrophobia, you've got, that absolute pitch darkness, the constant sound of dripping water.
Oh, yeah.
It was just going to make for a really, really fun event.
Oh, I bet. I have talked about going there for some time. I have not made my way there yet, but I don't know. I've just always wanted to go there, though. I gotta make my way there. I gotta make my way there. Okay, so let's go back to some investigations. I know that you did, like a week in, like, Edinburgh?
Yeah, so...
How did that go?
Yeah, so back in 2013, in a kind of a fit of young and dumb, I was like, you know what, because I had been accepted to the New York Film Academy for financial reasons. It wasn't working out. So I'm like, you know what, I still want to make some sort of a movie. I want to just at least dip my toes in that kind of water. So I was like, what's something kind of, extreme that I could do. And I, was searching around. I was thinking about going out to California doing stuff, Pennsylvania, and I ended up landing on this place that I'd never heard of called Edinburgh Manor. And at the time, rates were really cheap per night. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it by myself, and it's going to be for 5 days.
Oh, gosh.
Hindsight 2020, it was kind of big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, it was actually kind of come out a little bit weirder. If I was able to talk to the younger man, I'd probably be like, probably not the best idea, but yeah, I don't think I would trade the experience for really anything. Just a lot of, it kind of set up like a mental boundary for me, if that makes sense. Where I was like, okay, so this is what too big is like, and we're not going to do that again.
Okay, I don't know if I could handle it by myself either. We went with just 3 of us in March, and that was enough. Like, I mean, that was still...
And that was just one night.
And that was just one night. I was like, oh.
I was lucky enough through the process to have like visitors on occasion. So like the first night's investigation was me with my all paranormal team, which is me, my dad, my brother. I had gotten a couple former employees to come out. We kind of did some, mock, walk around halls, doing bed check type of thing. That was a really cool experience. I had, people that guy who had previously investigated there quite a bit. He was able to come help me out. We found a few of the hot spots at the time. But yeah, just a very cool experience, and I'm still working on trying to figure out an outlet for the actual producing of like the investigation half. I put out on a separate YouTube channel. It's on more of All Paranormal's channel. It was the kind of location documentary, and there's some good stuff on that as well. If you ever go on like YouTube, look up Hidden Hauntings, it'll be under Lunacy, which was the kind of title I'd given it.
Okay.
But yeah, we had found. So it's kind of like a series of the walkthroughs that I kind of went through while I was there. So the first one was, given to me by Cindy, and it was, we were just kind of going around checking stuff out. We got this awesome scream on camera in the basement, and that was like within my first few hours of the place. So it was immediately like, kind of second guessing myself. Yeah, it was very overall just kind of a cool experience for me, if nothing else. I had the original plan for the documentary was actually to kind of, not just have this big investigation, but also look at it from a like a scientific, like how it would affect a person being exposed to such an extreme haunt over type of thing. So I had gone in, gotten a pre-investigation physical done. I was taking a heart monitor in with me. My original plan was to just not leave the building at all, except to obviously like use the restroom, that sort of thing.
Right.
And I got through my first night, and I realized if I wanted to maintain any shred of my sanity, that was going to have to be like a kind of change in direction. Because I got this little like a pop-up tent. I put it in like that main area on the ground floor. And I was like, this is going to be fine. This is going to be my safe space. We'll be good. And visually, I was correct. What I didn't account for was that sound travels pretty well through nylon.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that first night I slept maybe a total of a half hour, maybe an hour. Just because it was weird. It seemed consistent because I almost feel like they knew I'd like stopped most of my recording. So I would hear, people walking around upstairs. I heard conversations down the hall repeatedly. My first time there, I kept hearing a baby crying.
Oh, wow.
And I went in with the mindset, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm going to go to sleep at like midnight. And about 5:30 is when I finally got to sleep. And about 6:30 in the morning, that just heavy steel door that goes up to the second floor.
Yeah.
Just kind of slammed shut.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I've got fun audio of the sound of a door slamming and then the ruffling of like the plastic on the other side of the tent and me letting out just this egregious stream of cuss words.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that would be good. That would be good to hear. I wonder, it'd probably beat my scream from the doll. Oh my gosh. Darren has a question. He wants to know, what do you fear the most of the paranormal?
Honestly, so my mentality going into it at any given point is to kind of avoid the idea of fear as a whole, because, if you're not afraid, there's nothing that can really, it doesn't really bother you. The fear is like the power that you give it. So honestly, my biggest thing would be, on occasion, I think it happens to all of us on occasion, bring something kind of back with us. And honestly, my biggest fear isn't necessarily for me, but to come back and have it, kind of wreaking havoc around my house, kind of upsetting the people that I live with more than myself, because I know pretty well how to deal with it. But right. Yeah, Either that or anything that has to do with dolls.
Yeah.
Oh, we love dolls too.
Yeah. They're like attracted to me. They're like a magnet to me or something. I don't know. I've had a lot of experiences with dolls lately. So I'm kind of... And then I come over here to Kim's house to do the show, and she's got 201 porcelain dolls in here. And we have some that are...
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. They're sitting... We have them like... There's like a whole row of them watching us do the show.
Oh, that's not okay.
I know. She brought one out one night, and I just got this bad vibe from it. I'm like, no, put that thing back. There's something wrong with that doll. Put it back, put it back, put it back. I don't ever want to see that doll again. I don't know where it's at in this house, and I don't want to see it again.
I've got it hid, so you'll never see it again.
So, yeah. Oh, we have another question here. If you had a chance to build a device for your investigations, what would it be and why?
Well, I feel like the correct answer is pretty much anything that's going to give you like definite contact. Like if you could build this sort of funky pod where it would allow spirit to manifest and have enough energy for them to actually like have full-blown conversation with you.
Oh, that would be cool.
But since I know technology is so far off of that, I've actually been kind of tinkering with an idea that I don't nearly have the technical skills to actually develop, but I like the idea of it. And I call it like a debunk board. So it would be built in with like an EMF meter, like a CO2 detector. My most recent fascination, for some reason, has been infrasound, which is that sound that exists, below the 20 hertz. It can actually, it also gives the same feelings of like that paranoia, the feeling of cosmic hallucinations. Something like that, they could pick up something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because when I think of trying to validate a haunting, it's less trying to find something in that picture, and it's more trying to whittle down just this entire hunk of raw data and turning it into what some people would call evidence. I don't particularly like the word, so I tend to stray away from just because evidence is beyond a shadow of a doubt, and that's
right.
It's pretty hard to do. But yeah, something that could kind of remove all of the real world variables very quickly. Either that or something that could rationally project like what it actually feels like to be on investigation to like show people or to audibly have them kind of get the least bit of sensation of what it's like to actually encounter something like that.
Oops. Computer shut off. There we go. We have another question. We have one from Wolf. What was your favorite moment and most challenging moment in that investigation?
I think he's probably talking. Yeah.
Probably Edinburgh.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's Edinburgh.
Yeah. So. There was one and two. I had hit a point around day 3 where I was, sleep deprived while I was going on, and it wasn't. I don't know. I was just kind of starting to. The morale was dipping quite a bit, and it was just kind of one of those things I had really thought about. Just packing up, quitting, and calling it quits because I was like just so like emotionally, psychologically, physically drained from the whole experience that it'd either be that or I had conducted not the investigation, the whole thing was investigation, an experiment there's that far room where that maintenance guy had hung himself. So I was kind of conducting something in that corner. So I kind of sat where he sat. I sat there was a rope. I even placed it around my neck to kind of like try to put myself in that spot. I don't know what exactly that does for them, but I feel like the closer you can get to being kind of where they were at, you would almost make a little bit more of a connection somehow. It's just kind of one of those ideas I had going on in my head. But I had done that. I had set up a bunch of meters around me, had cameras on those, cameras down all the hallways, just as thickly blanket it as I could with as much, as many devices as I could. So I'm sitting there, I'm talking, having the conversation, and I almost, started to feel that there was just this absolute moment where I just felt completely helpless to anything in the world. This just deep, like, crushing sadness. And I really think I just, made that kind of emotional connection with the guy, and I actually had to, kind of stop. I quit filming. I tore everything down, and I just went out to that back house, and honestly, I just sat there in silence for about an hour. I, cried a little. It was very emotional, and it's one of those things that unfortunately you can't actually capture on camera. Is that kind of sensation? So yeah, it was either that or just the absolute, like, running a marathon mentality of put yourself in Edinburgh Manor alone for a long stint of time.
Yeah. We have another question.
Yeah.
If you had a chance to investigate a seminary or the Vatican, would you do it?
Ooh. Ooh.
We got a stumper.
Yeah.
You got me stumped.
That's a good question, then.
Because my immediate thought would be, yeah, definitely, absolutely, if nothing else, to just kind of get in there and poke around, because I'm also a big, like, history nut, and there's a ton of history in that place, but also I tend to try to shy away from anywhere, like, that people might think of as sacred. So, like, Effigy Mountain is really close to me, and I would, I'll go around, I'll check out the history, but I would never actually try to conduct an investigation there, just because, in my opinion, it almost just kind of feels like disrespectful, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that'd be the same kind of thing going into, a place like the Vatican. That would be,
right.
I would go with yes, but only if I got to do it with the Pope.
Oh, there you go. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, you turn that into a YouTube episode, that would get all of the clicks.
Like, oh yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it would definitely. We have another question. Man, they are on a roll tonight. Okay. Wolf would like to know, do you like to return to a location to do a follow-up investigation based on what you find?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't feel like you're doing, your job diligently as a normal researcher if you don't.
Right.
So, like Edinburgh Manor, I've done, I did my big thing there, and I've been back several times being like, hey, you did this last time, you do it again, hey, you did this last time, why did you do that? What do you, think about, people constantly going in and out here? Do you remember me from last time you're there? It's all, it's very much a process of repeat, as much as you possibly can.
Right.
That's what we like to do, is go back and back and back and
back
up what we found the first time. And
Oh yeah.
A lot of times.
And on top of that, I feel like you almost kind of develop a rapport with the actual spirits in the building, like because you see somebody coming in the first time and you're like, hey, can you move that? Hey, what's this weird guy? One.
Right.
You come back the fifth or sixth time, it's like, oh, hey, it's Chris. Hey, would you mind closing that door for me or something like that? It's not quite as weird, because my big philosophy is, they're just people minus, the fleshy part, the meat suit.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, it'd be just as weird going into someone's house one time being like, hey, can you do all these tricks for me? And then just kind of disappearing forever. But, I keep going back. They're like, oh, hey, it's just this guy. And honestly, I think it helps your chances as a paranormal investigator once you kind of developed that rapport with the local spirits.
Yeah. Just like we went to the squirrel cage last weekend. We didn't get a single thing, but I'd still love to go back to see if it just wasn't that night for them.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, we had another question. Man, they really are on a roll. I can't keep up with them. Let's see. Do you investigate cemeteries?
I have not recently. Cemeteries used to be my big fix, like, way back in the day, especially when I was just, like, trying to, investigate, as much as I possibly can.
Right.
And, lately it kind of takes on, like, a teetering conflict of, like, oh, is this, sacred ground? Is this really a place I should be doing this sort of thing? I'll pop into a cemetery on occasion. I actually just did one, a couple up in Mackinac Island here, would have been a few weeks ago, just because they're all very, very, very old. A lot of history in the area. I'll do a cemetery on occasion. I try not to make it the center of what I do anymore. I can't say I don't love a good cemetery.
I haven't really. The only one I've done is Edinburgh. I haven't investigated anything else.
That's the only one we've ever investigated.
Yeah. A spin-off from that question, they wanted to know, what are the differences in, like, a regular cemetery, Catholic, or a witch?
Truthfully, I'm not totally convinced there is one. I'm trying to think of a good example here. So, especially, like, difference in religion, I feel like no matter, what religion you are, we all kind of process death the same way. So that energy is always going to be similar. I just feel like they all kind of have the same type of energy there. It's, maybe it's the occasional person that kind of goes back to, visit their body, which is the most, familiar thing to them this life. Maybe you're getting residual energy from the grief that happened there, or, sometimes the happiness.
Right.
I feel like it's all very similar energy. It's just kind of the circumstances that might be different per cemetery, and I don't think that's necessarily anything to do with the type. I think it just might, circumstances are circumstances.
Yep. Okay, we got another question. Will you be doing any more investigations combined with the psychic medium such as Kelly? What are your thoughts on combining the scientific with the spiritual aspect?
Yeah, definitely. So my thing is, I feel like it's one and the same. We just don't have a tool yet to measure or register what a psychic medium feels and experiences. And I feel like it's very useful investigation when you start kind of bridging the gap between the two, because I feel like we've all kind of got a different angle at what the same big picture is. So getting as much of everything into an investigation as you can, I would do nothing but encourage that.
Going through, because they just keep popping
I know,
up questions. I can't. They have a lot of them tonight. Questions. Yeah. Okay. Another question here is: what are your views on provoking?
Absolutely not. Like I said before, ghosts are people too. So I wouldn't, kick open the front door of somebody's house with, spiky hair and a shirt 2 sizes too small, going, "Hey, come fight me in the dark." It's just people trying to live their lives, so to speak.
Yeah. Yep. So true.
Yeah. I can understand to an extent, and depending on what your definition of provoking is, if you're just, the "hey, come fight me in the dark" kind of guy, that's not okay. But like, I did a thing at Edinburgh with a former employee, and he's like, "Hey, you know me? I used to be staff here. I need you to do this for me, please." And I don't know if necessarily you would call that provoking, but it's kind of taking a little more of a direct angle. And I feel like it's the same thing with human interaction as it is with spirit interaction. Sometimes you just need that a little bit more direct approach. But yeah, as far as come fight me in the dark, heck, piss off.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Just catching up here, see if there's anything else. Oh, yep, there's one that just popped up here. It hasn't. Let's see. Another question. What are your views on shadow people? So
shadow people, honestly, I feel like they get this weird stigma where it's like, oh, it's this dark looming figure. It's got to be negative. If I'm being honest, I think it's just a phase in spirit manifestation. I think it takes them a lot of energy to, produce even the simplest things. When we think of like orb activity, the simplest shape that you could possibly make would be, naturally, if your hand goes on a piece of paper and it says doodle something, so you'll make like a circle-y squiggle. So handing you a wad of clay or Play-Doh, you end up like rolling it into a ball. I think it's just that simplest shape, it's the shape of a cell. And if, with orb activity, I think it's just that's that first step in manifestation. Somewhere between that and, your full-bodied apparition, you have the shadow figure. They're not able to, they're maybe able to make form, but they're not necessarily able to produce themselves as a color or even light, because it would make more sense that it takes more to produce light than it does to, produce darkness. Light requires a higher amount of energy. It's easier to flip on a light switch and then to kind of turn it off, if that makes sense. I think it's just kind of a, partial manifestation. I don't think it's quite all the way to what it could be, but it's also, more than like the simple stuff. Excuse me, like orb activity.
Oh, let's see here. Hang on here. For some reason, mine on my phone isn't uploading, but the one on our thing is, so I'm trying to scroll through because we have a bunch of questions here, and it's not letting me do it. Let's see here. Shay wanted to know evidence or data.
Data, definitely data.
Definitely.
Okay, and then let's see here.
Let's see. Keep going.
I'm trying. I keep losing my cursor here. Trying to get down here.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at technology. I don't know why I have to run all this stuff.
I was going to say, for being a paranormal investigator, I'm also terrible with the technology, which I feel like is kind of a prerequisite.
I know. I'm terrible at it. I am so terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just learning how to use Instagram. I still don't. Like, when I go live on there from investigations and things, people can't see because I don't know if there's a light on there like there is for Facebook. I just realized there's one on Facebook because Kim has me run her phone when we do that. I'm like, hey, there's a light on here.
Completely honest, you just gave me new information.
I just found it out, too. I'm terrible. I'm in the dark about these things. Okay, let's see here. What is the future with All Out Paranormal?
It's good. We're still doing our own thing. We actually just did SilCon, would have been last weekend. It's just been one of those things. We found, my dad and I, we founded All Out Paranormal as a father-son team, so it just kind of made sense that we continued with that. So we're not, taking on new people, but with me, moving away, being gone as much as I am, it's also hard to, make everything AOP when it's just me. So to me, it just kind of felt right to start kind of, doing stuff on my own, kind of branching out. And I know he's kind of doing some stuff on the side as well. But yeah, it's always going to be a thing. We're just kind of also becoming aware of the fact that we can do things as separate entities too.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. We have another question. If you come across a full body apparition, who would you want it to be, and what would you say?
Oof. Because there's a lot of options.
Another stumper.
Because for me, for some reason, my first impulse was well, I'd want to talk to Jesus Christ, just to be like, hey,
yeah,
let's clear some stuff up here real quick.
Yeah.
But, there's also part of me that thinks, it'd be really cool to be able to see and talk to my grandpa again.
Oh yeah.
So maybe not something necessarily. I feel like if it was to be that profound of an experience, I would like it to be something that would be, kind of just for me.
Right. Yeah.
See, I would, probably my grandpa.
Very good, very good. Let's see here. Another question. Favorite location?
That's like asking a parent to pick their favorite kid. Nearest and dearest to my heart is probably Edinburgh, just because I did have such a kind of weird relationship with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to so many cool places. When I was down in Arizona last winter,
mm-hmm.
I was living in a town called Benson, and it is located in proximity to the San Pedro River, where I was doing some research. A lot of the folklore of the La Llorona actually comes from along the San Pedro
mm-hmm.
River area. So that was a cool investigation. Like I said, I just did Mackinac Island, which is, I mean, if not for all the history and stuff, it's still one of my favorite places in the United States because it's just such a cool area.
Mm-hmm.
Never go wrong with the Farrar Schoolhouse.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if I could pick one. The first instinct, though, I'd have to say Edinburgh, just because of that unique first experience I had with it.
I saw today you posted up about glow sticks.
Yeah. I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
The old crack and dangle. So, that was actually something I had developed at Edinburgh. I was looking at it, I got these long halls. I want to see something funky with that, and I'm sure it's something I've seen somewhere else, and it just kind of regurgitated in my mind.
Uh-huh.
That I can't give proper credit where it's due. But I was had a set of cameras on either end shooting in the middle, facing opposite directions,
mm-hmm.
all the way down the hallway. I'm like, I feel like I need to add something to this, something that would, they would elicit a physical response, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking laser grid, and I was like, a lot of people seen laser grids. There's a lot, could be misinterpreted, batteries die. And I happened to have this enormous box of glow sticks. And I was like, hey, I got, string. I will hang them all the way down. And the idea was if, so like a laser grid, if anything passes in
mm-hmm.
front of, it blocks it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, something walks in front of that. That's going to be really convincing because that's more than just like a singular spot of a laser light. And I was like, or even better if something were to make it sway back and forth, or
mm-hmm.
even grab it by the string, pick it up, and drop it.
Oh yeah,
it's not anything I've had any sort of luck with yet, but it's definitely something I want to keep trying to pursue because that's pretty concrete. That's pretty damn concrete.
Yeah,
we've used the glow sticks in balloons and put them in balloons. That way you can be sitting there watching, and if there's not a breeze in there and that balloon moves, that helps so you can see it better.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to let you know that your dad was listening, and he is so proud of you, but he had to run.
Okay.
There we go. All right, let's see if we got it. Oh, yep, we've got another question here. I think I might have missed. Oh, I got a couple. Is the paranormal field going in the right direction, and what would you do to change?
I would like to think so. I try to be as optimistic as I can, and I would really like to think so because, it's come such a long way from being something that's sneered at and frowned upon.
Right.
So people thinking, oh, this is cool, and with anything in life, there's as much good as there's going to be that kind of other end. So you're going to have those people run around, provoking in a dark room and that sort of thing. But that's also interest, which is kind of what we're looking for. Because I'd be lying if I said I didn't start out watching the shows. That's kind of what got me interested.
Yeah.
See, I would definitely like to think so. We have a lot of people that are, actively, even if they're just showing interest, that's a positive sign. But you also have people that are actively trying to, study this and actually, have something. I mean, the paranormal's kind of one of those weird things where I don't want to say that we have something to prove, but we're definitely also not in the position where we don't, because, I feel like that should be end goal for a lot of paranormal researchers is to take this from, pseudoscience to, okay, this is actually something, this is irrefutable, what do we do next, type of thing. So yeah, I would definitely say we're heading in the right direction. Honestly, I can't imagine anything I would change in particular, just because, this is, really a right direction. I mean, like, you don't see a community like you do with paranormal researchers. I mean, there's not, there's occasionally, a few people out there that are more just kind of supporting their own ego, but for the most part, everybody's just kind of, it's a very much we're in it together type of relationship over just an enormous group of people.
Right, yeah. Well, let's see here. Got a couple more. What are your thoughts on visiting South Carolina battlefields?
So that kind of teeters on the same things like the sacred places. I mean, I'd be, as an investigator, I'm curious to go check out the energy. And I'd be lying if I said I had been out to like Gettysburg and checked out the battlefields. But it's always kind of that like a little bit of internal, conflict that comes along with like, okay, I'm going out, I'm, trying to make this connection. I'm trying to understand the energy of this area better. But on the other, half my brain, I'm also like, am I exploiting this? What exactly, gives me the right to be somewhere where this, just absolute atrocity happened. So yeah, very kind of red, kind of middle of the lane there with that one. As my anxiety does teeter on between like, I genuinely want to make that connection, but this is also just a whole bunch of bleh. I definitely prefer the investigations where it's where you get to learn more about how people lived and less about how they died.
Right, yeah, exactly. Let's see, we've got another one here. In the paranormal field, if there was something that you could change, what would it be and why?
Yeah, I don't know if I could place anything specific, just because, I do feel like everything has that two sides to the same coin thing. I would love the idea of, replacing that, demons are everywhere, come fight me in the dark, kind of TV, that overly sensationalized stuff.
Right.
But that's also what's increasing interest. And, eventually people get out in the field and they're like, oh, wow, it's actually like this. And, a lot of good can come out of that. So, until I can come up with a better system myself, I would say absolutely nothing.
Okay. That's a good answer. All right, let's see here. Another question. Who is the one person or group you haven't investigated with yet?
Oh, there's tons of them. I mean, honestly, I swear I was having this thoughts just the other day. The person I would like to go on investigation with most of all, not even paranormal like research or just a overall like just a fresh set of eyes, mind. Neil deGrasse Tyson. It sounds absolutely ridiculous, but like to get the idea of like an astrophysicist, system is not entirely based on like the scientific principle. Not to mention, he just seems like the coolest guy. Just to like be like, hey, what do you think? Because I know I would like to think it's going to be at least somewhat open minded,
right?
To get just an absolutely 100% rational mind on things.
That would be kind of cool to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. We got another question. If you had a chance to buy a haunted location or house anywhere, what would it be and why?
So on one hand, I want to do something that is familiar to me. So honestly, a place like I'm going to keep falling back on Edinburgh Manor. I feel like it would be kind of cool. And honestly, I would like have a little corner. It's just going to be just me hanging out there. I also feel like that's, a bit much. But, a place like Waverly Hills Sanatorium would be another really cool one.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Have a place like that be your playground is just a incredible idea to me.
Yeah, that would be neat. I want to go investigate there. I have never been, but I would like to go. I've got so many.
It is on the very top of my bucket list, though.
Yeah, that one would be definitely one of mine too.
I want to go back to your glow stick thing. Your experiment.
Yeah.
We just got one of those Halloween scream pads. We're going to experiment with that because you're always hearing walking in the halls. We're going to see if maybe they could set that off. So we're going to try that sometime.
Oh, you talking like the trigger sensor, like you step on it?
Yep, you step on it and it'll scream.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to set it in one of the hallways. It runs by batteries, so...
I would definitely engineer it so it made it sound other than screaming, because that would be horrifying if it actually works.
So we're going to give that a try, because everywhere we go, we hear walking. So.
Oh my gosh, yes. Every time we lay down when we go to Edinburgh, that's all we hear is walking up and down the hallway.
Or it'd be like this insanely messy, but to just do like a thin layer of flour over everything.
Oh yeah.
So that you would actually get like solid footprints there.
Oh yeah, that would be cool too.
Oh yeah, I did so it was one of those kind of, you park the car on a bridge, put it in neutral at midnight,
Mm-hmm.
the lost souls of a bus that was knocked off the bridge to push you off, kind of urban legend type of things.
Yeah.
And I don't put a whole lot of stock into it, but I'm never going to not check something like that out. So yeah, I ended up like just dousing my car with flour and, the back bumper all around the car. So anything got even close to it, or touched it, it would be like, holy crap, that's there, that's solid. Nothing came of that. I ended up having like a crescent where my car had moved back about 3 feet, but then I also went back and actually took a level to the bridge and
Oh yeah, and it was.
I had to move back 3 feet.
Oh geez, yeah. Okay, we have another question. Is it Rihanna or Rihanna? Anybody know? Yes. Okay, she wants to know. Okay, she says, what are your thoughts on investigating plantation homes with yours truly and a psychic medium like Kelly?
Oh, I think it'd be a blast.
Okay.
Always up for, because, with a plantation home, obviously there's that kind of not so great part of the history, but it's also, the history is history. We got to take it, for the positive and the negative. And yeah, a place like that is, bound to have something. I noticed a lot with, especially the very old houses, when the people that built it had the mentality of like, this house is my legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And that, that kind of energy is bound to leave something in a plantation house. And actually, I believe one of the few types of locations I haven't had the pleasure of investigating yet. Yeah, I don't think I have. Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think it would be.
Oh, yeah, it
definitely.
Would. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Oh, we got another one. Do you believe in demonic possession?
I believe something like happens there. So I was raised Christian. I, still maintain the faith. I don't believe it happens twice in a single episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that, given the proper circumstances, something bad can make its way into good people. There's too much documentation to debate something like that, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely see it as a possibility. I don't think it's common by any stretch of the imagination. I don't believe that demonic hauntings are nearly as common as some people like to claim, or even that I hear.
Right.
Like I said, being at this 10 years, I don't think I've ever run anything I would describe as evil, much less demonic. I've had some nasty ones, and just like in life, you're gonna run into some assholes in death as well.
Yep.
And I think that's what that it is for the most part.
Me too. Let's see. Oh, we got another one. Okay. Of all the haunted locations that are considered hoaxes, do you agree with them, or do you think they are actually haunted? For example, Amityville. They got some good questions tonight.
They do.
My opinion is I don't feel like spirits necessarily go anywhere, so I feel like anywhere at any given point in time is haunted. It's just a matter of interaction. So do I think, like, the walls in Amityville actually bled and there's a demonic pig running around the house? I don't know if I, per se, kind of believe that, but I also, I wasn't there. A lot of the family won't talk about it anymore. Some of the family says it was a hoax. And then, there's people that genuinely seem deeply, I would say, I don't know if I want to say emotionally scarred by the situation, but I don't feel like I've got the proper amount of information to say yes or no, because, I've never been there.
All right. Let's see here. We got any more? Nope. So maybe we can ask some of ours.
Yeah. Now you can go to your list.
Okay. So I know you said that you do some traveling. Now, when you go traveling, do you go to other places to investigate in other states then, or?
Oh, yeah. Whenever the opportunity kind of arises, so, like I mentioned, Arizona, I was actually living down in a town called Benson, and, kind of found a lot of Llorona fever, because that's when the trailers started coming out for the movie, all that stuff. So, if the opportunity ever arises, I'm definitely, I don't, like, go to the places in search of the haunted locations in the area. I'm more looking for bullet job. But, I'll, kind of poke around the local haunts of the area.
Very nice.
Cool.
Darren says he's all questioned out. He's out.
Darren's out of questions?
I guess so. Let's see. I know they have kind of gone through some of mine here. What about Farrar? I know you've been to Farrar.
Loved Farrar. It's kind of one of those places where on any given night, I've never not had some sort of experience. So I guess it wasn't the most recent time, but like back in August of 2018, I want to say it was, which, by the way, biggest blunder of my possibly entire paranormal career, if you want to call it that. So we're shows and expos, and then also, obviously I'm doing investigations. And at one point in time, the cases that held, like, the banners and the poles and the business cards, all that stuff, was in a very similar-looking case to the one that held the equipment. And drove, 3+ hours, got to Farrar, flipped open the case, and instead of, boxes full of cameras, recorders, etc., it was poles and banners and business cards. So ended up doing a, very limited equipment type of investigation. I happened to have been wearing, I got a recorder that I just wear as a watch, had a camera on us, and that was about the extent of it. And honestly, it was one of the best investigations I have been on in years, if not top 5 ever, for me personally. Because when you're not looking through that LCD screen, you just get to see so much more. I witnessed, shadow people walking down the halls that I might have missed if I hadn't been, if I had been looking through a camera, or I had so it wasn't quite the second floor. It was kind of in between the second, third floor, that stairs where they turn underneath the principal's office. For the first time in quite a few years, I had actually seen a full-bodied apparition of a little girl. Had shoulder-length, kind of blondish hair. And I feel like had I, had just all this equipment with me, I feel like that's an opportunity I very well could have missed. It was also kind of a teaching experience too. So I have tendencies where I just get way too wrapped up in the tools. I tend to forget that the best tool that you have is, your own eyes, your own, all that stuff. It just kind of gets high contrast with the documentarian in me. Farrar is definitely one of my, I would say, top 3 favorite locations in Iowa.
Very good, very good. Okay, let's see. We got a couple more here. What are some of the locations you've been to in other states?
So I've been to the Roth home in Watseka, Illinois, which is a lot of people know the story of the Watseka Wonder, that first documented case of human possession in American history. I've been to Gettysburg, Bachelor's Grove Cemetery outside of Chicago. Been to there is this really cool location out in Colorado, in Canyon City. It's just the Colorado Prison Museum.
Oh, wow.
And it's in the closed down wing of this old women's penitentiary, and it's right next to a high security prison, and it's just absolutely full of trigger objects. Just this huge collections of shivs and shanks. They still have the last noose that was used in the last legal hanging in Colorado. There's a gas chamber in there. The board that they strap you to for lethal injection. Fun, cool stuff like that. Just recently did a couple cemeteries and a witch's drowning pool in Mackinac Island with Kelly McCarville. That was
that'd be cool.
That was a really fun time. The very weird kind of energy to that too. Especially the drowning pool is one of those investigations where I honestly didn't say a whole lot just because it's weird processing all of the kind of emotional input from the area, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we got one final question here before we wrap up. Have you ever experienced an animal ghost?
I have. I don't think it's open anymore. I've been trying to get a hold of the place, no answers. It was a place called the Hollows Inn. It was in Marengo, Iowa. Last I knew it to be open was 2010, 2011, something like that. Anyways, it was a doctor's house, and, it was back in late 20s or early 30s when doctors still did house calls, and the doctors, nights when he was on call, he would take a separate bedroom from his wife. And there were a lot of claims of people encountering, this, phantom dog, which, obviously took my interest. So at 4 in the morning when we're, getting ready to go to sleep, I'm laying in the bed where people, claim to have his experiences. My brother, who was investigating with me that night, he was on the couch, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm just starting to get to that point where I'm drifting off to sleep, and I hear that, that very distinct, clattering of animal, claws on hardwood as they walk. And it immediately gets my attention, and next thing I know, the bed just kind of shifts, and I get this weird, sensation over my legs. It's almost kind of warm, like a dog was laying there. And I'm just from across the room, I'm trying to find something to throw at my brother or something, or I'm just like trying to get like him to wake up because he's just absolutely dead to the world. And finally, I just said, like, Shane, and it just like as soon as I sat up, obviously me moving the bed, but then there was that secondary like sideways shift, like something it crawled off, and so yeah, that was my I believe one and only experience with a kind of phantom animal. It was a old Doc Hollis's dog.
That is crazy. The only one I had was at Granger House, and it was a cat. Like, I saw it, and then we captured meowing up in the boys' room. The very first time we were there, but that's the only time. The only time I've had a phantom animal.
Oh yeah, because I mean, spirit exists in everything. I mean, it would make perfect sense that it's gonna happen with our dogs and cats as well.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Okay, so let's. I'm gonna give some quick shout outs here, but first, why don't you let us know where we can find you at? Find all your events, info, investigation, information, anything. Where people can find you.
So you can find me on pretty much any form of social media under the handle at the Paranomad. The Facebook page is called Paranomadic. I believe the YouTube channel is under Paranomadic as well, which at this time does not have any videos. But actually, within the next week, the first 3 episodes will be mini-sodes will be airing for each location of the Spook Cave investigations. That's how I'm kind of kicking off that whole process. And then if, like, you mentioned the Boasting Experiment, that was featured on the Paranomad.com, which recently I just kind of kicked off this year, so it's kind of still fresh, but I got a lot of good ideas for content and stuff coming out, so you'll get, like, experiments like that, some, like, personal stories, investigations, location bios, just all sorts of fun stuff at the Paranomad.com.
Awesome. Okay, let's give some quick shout-outs here before I wrap things up. Let's see. We had Shay, Darren, Pat, Matt. I know Kelly was in there. Wolf was in there. Rihanna. I know there was more people in here.
Rex was in there for a little bit.
Yep. I think I said Pat already. Just going through. We had a lot of messages. There's a lot of people to go through here just to make sure. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. But thank you for listening, and thank you, Chris, for being on the show. Tomorrow night, Kim and I will be on Shay's Paranormal Chat with Kelly and Shay, so tune in. And you're going to be on Maddie's, right? This Sunday?
Yeah, I will be on Spooky Talk on Sunday.
All right, So guys, whatever questions we didn't get to tonight, you can have them ready for them on Sunday.
And we will see you at the expo, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it aims.
Yep.
And I will bring my doll and my clowns for Kelly.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not so sure I'm cool with clowns either, am I?
Kelly don't like clown dolls, and I collect clowns.
Yeah. I used to, too, when I was younger, and your mother used to buy them for me. Now they're hidden in a tote because I can't stand to look at them. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening, and everybody who was in chat and who was just listening tonight. We thank you all, and have a good night.
Thank you for listening to REP Paranormal and Friends. Be sure to check out Kim and Allison on Facebook at REP Paranormal Busters.